Hey, what's up? My name is Samuel Leeds. I'm a property investor, and this week I'm going to be answering all of the personal questions that you've been asking me about my property portfolio and about what I'm personally doing right now in this property market. Now, if you've got questions about property, about finance, entrepreneurship, ask below, because I do read your questions and I do answer them every single Sunday. And I don't normally, you know what, people ask me a lot of questions sometimes about me. You know, Samuel, what are you doing here? And what's this and what's that? And I don't know sometimes whether the people asking the questions are just curious or whether they're wanting to know the answers from a learning perspective. So I don't know exactly why, but I just figured, well, why not just answer some of the more personal questions? And listen, I'm always open about what I'm doing. But don't forget, just because I'm doing something doesn't mean that you should be doing it. Where I've got to, I've been in property now for over a decade. My strategy has developed, has snowballed, has advanced. I've got a lot of full-time staff. Some of my staff are on six figures on the property business. So my setup now is very, very different to my setup when I was 19, 20, when I was 23, when I was 25, now I'm 29. It's advanced, it's changed. So sometimes people get a little bit like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's happening? It's because I'm advanced. Okay, so by the way, if you like my YouTube channel, please do smash the like button, please do subscribe, turn the notification bell on. Let's get to some of these questions. Number one is, people are freaking out because they're saying, Samuel, why are you selling some of your houses right now? And the reason I'm selling some of my houses right now is because I'm using the money from these smaller houses to put into other houses. I'm not selling up my property portfolio. I'm not saying, oh, I'm done with property. Like in the slightest. It's really funny because if I say to people, hey everyone, I'm buying, and I'm showing people what I'm buying, everyone goes, oh, that's interesting, cool. But then as soon as I sell 3-4 houses, people are freaking out. Samuel's selling some houses! But I'm selling houses to buy houses. So it's really not odd. It shouldn't strike you as strange for a property investor, for a property entrepreneur that trades, buys, flips a lot of houses to sometimes sell houses. Like I've just built a bunch of houses and I'm selling them. I'm selling some new builds at the moment. That's not weird. Some of the houses that I bought a few years back, I'm now selling. It's not weird. It's a normal thing to happen in the life of a property investor. So why am I selling houses? I'm selling houses to release cash to put into other bigger projects. Next, why not just refinance? Because it depends per property, per situation. I do refinance houses sometimes. In fact, often I'll refinance. I'll buy a house, it will go up in value, I'll refinance, I'll reinvest. When I met Lord Sugar and I had business advice, when I had my mentoring session from Lord Sugar, one of the things Lord Sugar told me, because he said to me, what's your goal? What's the big term plan? And I told him I wanted 1,000 houses. You know what he said to me? He said, that's a stupid goal. Why on earth? This is what he said. Why on earth would you want to do that? And at the time, I didn't get why he said that. At the time, I'm thinking, he's a billionaire property investor. He's very, very successful. And I'm telling him I want 1,000 houses. I thought he'd applaud me. But he didn't. He says it's a stupid plan. Why? Because in 2017, maybe it was about 3 years ago when I met Lord Sugar, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Here's what I did get. I was a millionaire when I met Lord Sugar, so I wasn't doing too bad. Now I'm a multi-millionaire. But I didn't get it. When I started out in property, all I wanted was £2,000 a month passive income. And then I got that. I'm like, great, I'm making £2,000 a month. Then I wanted £6,000 a month. Got it. Then I wanted to become a millionaire. Got it. And what happens is as you start growing and your goals change, your perspectives change. So I'm there saying to Lord Sugar, I want 1,000 houses. And he's just like, what for? Why do you want 1,000 houses? And I'm like, because it's got a nice ring to it and it sounds impressive. How shallow, how ridiculous. It's not about how many houses you own. You don't want to necessarily just have I know people that have got over 100 houses and they're not making any money on those houses. It's not about how many houses you own. It's about how much money you're making. It's about how strategically set up your portfolio is. So Lord Sugar gave me some really, really good advice. I'm going to probably do a whole video about the Lord Sugar incident and the advice I got. I have written a blog about it. I've written an article. I'll leave that in the description below and you can check out the article. So why not refinance? Because I might not necessarily want to refinance it. I might want to sell it. I'll do both. It just depends. There's no black and white. All right, here's an interesting one that's come up. People have been asking me, almost in a slightly accusational way at times, okay, and I'm gonna clear this up. They've been saying that I am a hypocrite might be a bit of a strong word, but they've been saying, Samuel, why do you tell people to finance properties, to get mortgages, to leverage money, when you yourself have been buying loads of houses for cash? Why do you buy loads of properties for cash? Why do you pay off mortgages, but then you tell us and you tell on your YouTube channel to not do that? And it's a very fair question, and I'm going to give you a very solid explanation. So firstly, I want to say, right now, I don't buy houses for cash. I went through a stage, okay, like 2018, 2019, what happened was my properties went so high up in value and I refinanced a few and I had so much cash, I was making so much money and I never expected to make loads of money. And I don't teach people how to make millions of pounds. That, to be honest, that's kind of not what I'm about. What I'm about is being financially independent, is about being able to escape a job that you don't like and be able to provide for yourself and have more time. That's kind of what my message is. But I became so engrossed in property. I became so engrossed in business. And I started making a lot of money. And I became a millionaire at 25, but then 26, 27, I became a multi-millionaire. And what happened was when I started getting loads of money and my properties really were doing well, every aspect of my business was doing well. And I just thought, wow, well, I don't know what to do with all this money. It's crazy. I didn't know whether I wanted to just absolutely explode. So I started paying off mortgages. I had so much money, I was just buying properties in cash. You probably remember this stage. If you've been following me on YouTube for a long time, you probably remember when about 18 months ago, I was just giving people money. You've probably seen it on YouTube where I'm like, oh, write the check. And I even set up like a bridging company where I was just giving people money. And you can see it on YouTube. I was just saying, you want £500,000? Here's a check, bang. That was me 18 months ago. You want to do I couldn't be bothered to do the projects. I couldn't even be bothered. I'm embarrassed to say it now. I know it makes me look like a jerk, but I'm just being really honest. Sometimes when I was buying little houses, I was too complacent to even bother filling out the paperwork on the mortgage application. I just buy it for cash. That's how I got. And as a result of that, I didn't have any mentors because all of my mentors I'd outgrown. All of my mentors, I was making more money than them. The people that had worked with me, supported me, trained me, I'm making more money. And I did get a little bit lost. I got a bit lost. I knew how to teach someone to become financially free. Believe me, I knew how to do that. I even missed the days of becoming financially free. That's why I started doing the Financial Freedom Challenges. Because I was thinking, I just want to start again and hustle. I didn't like having all this cash and all this. And it was just like, man, you know, and that was where I was at. I'm in January 2019. I was just giving out money. I was just funding projects and saying, just give me 15% ROI. I don't care. Just have the money. As long as I got a charge on the property. And that was what I was doing. And I felt a bit lost. And I went to some very senior business advisors and met them. And one of the people that I met, and I paid a lot of money to do this as well. One of the people that I paid a lot of money to meet was Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone was the first person that could actually kind of relate to me because Grant Cardone has also done very well. Grant Cardone's, I think he's a billionaire. If he's not a billionaire, he might be close. He's worth hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. And when I met Grant Cardone, he was in better physical shape than I was at the time. I'm coming for you, Grant. But he was in better physical shape. He was a lot wealthier. He wasn't lost. He had it together. He had a clear plan. And he just said to me, what are you doing? Why are you giving loads of people money and asking for a fixed return? Why are you paying off all these? What are you doing? And this was in July 2019. And he really, really gave me focus again. And you know what he told me? The thing that really, really did it for me. He said, the way that you're acting right now is someone who's an old, retired, rich man who's over the hill, who's not got any goals left. That's how you're acting. And when Grant Cardone, who's in his 60s, who's in better physical shape than me, who's way richer than me, says, you're over the hill. And at the time I was 28, I just completely changed my strategy. And that's when I decided that some of the little smaller deals, I'm going to put into bigger deals. I'm going to stop buying properties for cash anymore. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be smart with my money because this is the best way to do it. And I just changed my strategy. And so yeah, I did go through a phase, and I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I mean, geez, I was doing well. I was doing really well, and I am doing really well. But I was going through a phase where I was just buying stuff in cash, throwing out cash. I was also, I was losing focus a little bit of my personal business goals. So Grant really helped me with that, and so did many other people, many other mentors. And that was when I learned that you always need to be continually finding someone that's doing better than you are and asking them to give you perspective. So thanks, Grant. And that's why. So hopefully that explains. Because yeah, for sure, you can find videos of me saying to people, don't buy a property for cash, use a mortgage. It's smarter. But then also find videos of me going, I just bought a house for cash. And I get why some people might be like, what happened there? But that's why I did that. Hopefully that explains it. And I'm not perfect. I'm figuring things out. I'm 29. I'm from a background, a working class background, where I didn't learn anything in school about property. I'm not from a family history of property investors or business people. My mom's a mobile hairdresser. My dad, entertainer, gardener, now does a network marketing business. Like, I'm figuring things out. I'm learning. And it's great to learn off of you folks as well. And it's great to be able to teach you. And I'm not ever standing here saying I know everything there is to know about investment and property and I'm the absolute, no, I'm learning. What I'm really good at is my forte is starting from scratch and becoming financially free. That's what I'm really good at. That's why I do the financial freedom challenges. That's what I did. That's what I teach. I had to learn how to manage millions of pounds. And I'm still learning that. And I've got a long way to go, but I'm getting really good. And I'm really excited about my next 10 years. And for those, by the way, for those people that have just stood with me for my whole journey, because you've seen me grow. You saw me start from 25 years old when I was doing well, but you saw me there and you're seeing me grow over the years. And I'm gonna grow a lot over the next 10 years as well. So thanks for your support and thanks for your help on that. All right, next. Why auction? Why am I selling from auction? Because it's fast. I've personally seen how long and slow and laborious it can be to sell a house when people pull out and then this and then that. Auction's fast, and also it's a myth that auction properties always sell really cheap. Actually, auction properties sometimes sell for more expensive than with a high street agent. So I like selling from auction because time is money. Not always is it the best, but even if you end up selling at 10, 15 grand less, just for the speed and for the assurance, for me, it's worth it because time is friggin' money. Is it a good time to sell? Probably not. Probably not a great time to sell. I just sold 3 houses earlier this week, and you know what? I wasn't happy with the price that I got. I was happy that I sold them, but they just barely hit the reserve price, and that was annoying. But we are living right now in a very time which is right now it's a buyer's market. It's not a seller's market. I'm a buyer right now. I'm buying right now, but I'm selling to buy as well. So the sales side, yeah, it's not a great time to sell. But if you're selling because you're going to be buying something and you want to sell this to buy this, maybe take the hit on this to then take the big hit on this, but you're the buyer here. But yeah, I'm not particularly loving the prices that I'm getting. I can't lie. Why? I'll ask another question. Why don't I give addresses? Some people have said to me, Samuel, can't you just show your title deeds for all of your houses and then suddenly we'd all be assured that you're... Listen, that's stupid. I don't even think people that say that, people that say, can you please, Samuel, prove that you own all these houses? It's like, firstly, I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I don't need to prove that I'm a multi-millionaire. I mean, anyone that knows anything about business that can look into it can probably see that it's true. You've seen on YouTube, you've heard from my solicitors. But, and another thing is, if I give out all the addresses to all of my properties with the title deeds, all that's going to happen is my tenants are going to start getting harassed. And I make a deliberate choice that I'm happy, me, to be in the public spotlight. And the newspapers constantly write about me, sometimes good, sometimes bad. I put myself out there. But just because I choose to put myself out there, I don't think that necessarily means that I need to then put all my tenants out there and put all my, that's them. That's their homes. This is me. So for me to put out all my addresses of my properties just to prove something to people that are like, oh, does he really own the houses that he says? It would just be, it's just stupid. So, I mean, listen, I'll put stuff out there for sure. I have put stuff out there. I'll vlog myself doing deals. I've had my solicitor confirm different things. Absolutely. But anyone that's that obsessed with so desperately wanting to know, figure out all the addresses, all of my houses, I would just say probably better off to spend more time on your business than on my business. And how many houses I own and how much exactly I'm making and all that, that's really not going to help you. If my teaching can help you, then learn and be helped. If it can't and you don't like my teachings, then don't learn and don't be helped. But I don't really feel that I have to put my tenants' safety and privacy in jeopardy just to prove something to a skeptic. So that's why not. However, I mean, geez, the houses that I'm selling at the moment, or the houses that I've just sold, oh man, you can see those addresses because they're sold. I'm selling, and I've just sold 2 flats in Walsall on Bridge Street. I got 19 Raby Street, that's selling. I can give you the address of that house because I'm selling that this coming week. 19 Raby Street in Wolverhampton. I'm selling 18 Malling Walk in Middlesbrough. I'm selling a HMO, little 4-bed HMO in Walmsworth Road in Doncaster. So I'll give you the addresses once I've sold them, but not when they're my houses and I've got my tenants in there. That's just not happening. All right, next. Oh, by the way, those houses that I just named as well, like it's so funny because people have been saying, oh, Samuel, he hasn't got any properties in his own company. Those houses, even that I just named, they're all owned in my companies as well. In fact, one of them is owned in a company called Lucas Ruby Limited that I bought off the result of doing my Financial Freedom Challenge. If that's not saying something, I don't know what isn't. So for those skeptics that said, I can't find Samuel's properties on Company's House. I know I did a whole video about that. Why are they not listed here on these assets? I don't know. Maybe because Company's House is not the best way to check properties. Maybe because Company's House is very behind the times, 18 months at least out of date. I don't know. But you can check the title deeds on those houses that I'm selling. You'll see that they're owned in my companies, one of them in Lucas Ruby Limited. And if Company's House doesn't acknowledge it, go on Land Registry and pay £3 and buy the title deeds yourself. I don't care. And you'll see that my companies do own properties. And I own a lot of houses as well in my own personal name, which you'll never find. And I'm not giving the title deeds. Okay, next. What properties am I selling? I just gave you that answer. What properties am I selling? I mean, why am I selling those particular properties and not other properties? It just depends on criteria and circumstances. So the property, for instance, that I'm selling in Middlesbrough, I've only got one house in Middlesbrough. So if I'm going to be selling some houses, if I've got like 7 or 8 houses in a particular area, like in Birmingham, I've got quite a lot of HMOs. I've got a nice setup there. I've got one management company, nice. I'm not going to touch any of them. Then if I've got just one house here or one house there, or if one of the properties is, and it also depends on the tenants. Some of my tenants I was about to sell a house and they contacted me and they said, look, we've lived here 6 years. This was a lease option agreement, by the way. So it's not going to be on Company's House. All right, and I own it cash now because I bought it cash. But it was a property that I bought really cheap because of a lease option agreement I'd done on it. This is in Bloxwich. My tenants said to me, they said, Samuel, I know you wanted to sell this house, but the thing is, we've lived here 6 years. We absolutely love it. And we're about to have a baby. And we're literally about to start decorating the room. Like, is there any chance you could not sell it? I said, do you want to buy it? They said, we can't afford it. I said, how about rent to buy? I don't mind. I'm not sure. We just want to continue renting. And I've decided not to sell that house. Even though I only own 2 houses in that particular area, I just thought, forget it, leave it. So there's lots of different personal and business reasons as to why I've chosen the houses to sell that I'm selling and why the houses that not. But I'm not selling that many houses. I've just sold 3. I'm about to sell another 3. I'm going to leave it for there. All right, but maybe I'll sell another 6 next year. I don't know. Depends on what other projects I've got going on. Why the weird predictions? Why the weird predictions? People have been going crazy about the predictions that I've been putting out there. Listen, let me just say this for a start. Whenever I put out property predictions or general predictions, I've always been right up until now. Now, I haven't got a crystal ball, so I can't claim to be a prophet, but when I predicted the effects of Article 4, it happened. Section 24, when they first brought in Section 24, 2017, they were going to phase it into 2020. Everyone was freaking out. I just predicted straight away what's going to happen is this is not for the first-time buyers. This is not for the tenants, like George Osborne is saying. This is for the rich. And what's going to happen is it's going to push rents up. And people that are buying, and I predicted it, and it all happened and it all came true. I predicted when people were freaking out about Jeremy Corbyn and Labour potentially getting in at the time. People go, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And I predicted that. I said to the person that was going on and on about Jeremy Corbyn's going to get in, I said, listen, not only are Labour not going to get in, but Boris Johnson's going to get in. And if Jeremy Corbyn gets in, I'll give you £10,000 to put to your favourite charity. It's not going to happen. So I'm kind of generally right when I predict things. Not necessarily I'm saying I'm always going to be right, but that's the pattern so far. I mean, geez, even in 2009, people were saying to me, don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. During the massive crash, what was I doing? Buying, buying, buying. I said they're gonna pop back up. Now, I was only a teenager at the time, but I was listening to those that were smarter than me. And sometimes my predictions are not even mine. Sometimes I'll speak to some of my mentors that are much richer and smarter than me, and I'll ask them, and then I'll form my own opinion, and then I'll put it out there and I'll tell you what's actually gonna happen, because you've got so much nonsense on social media. And what happened? 2009 when I was buying, shut up. So generally I'm right. I can't always be right, but generally I'm right. So what was my weird predictions? I think I put it on Instagram and I said, this is what I said was going to happen. These were my predictions. I said, for the record, here are my predictions. And I posted this a few weeks back, May the 8th. You will no longer be able to be comfortable financially, but have to choose between rich or poor as the divide gets a lot bigger. Believe that. Comfortable people financially are not going to be comfortable. You're going to have to choose to be rich or poor. Rich are going to get richer, poor are going to get poorer. I don't like it, but that's just the reality of it. Property prices will dip following trends, virus, but in many parts of the north of England, prices will rise. Still believe that. Still believe that. Property prices have gone down generally by I think it was, what was it, like 1.5% last month or something. So they're dipping a little bit. I think they're going to dip actually. I think in about 6 months they'll drop. But not the whole of England, not the whole of the UK. Some parts will go up. Why do I say that? Because every city, every town has its own economy. You can't just say, what are house prices going to do? It depends. Depends on the area. So, more millionaires will be made than ever before. Believe that. I believe there's going to be a lot of millionaires being made. And I even since putting this out there just over a month ago, that's already happened. I was just on the phone yesterday to Dr. John DiMartini. Dr. John DiMartini is a multi-millionaire. He said he's made more money during lockdown than ever before. So that's already happening. Interest rates will remain low for years. Believe that. More legislation will come into the serviced accommodation market and it will increase the demand. Believe that. HMOs will become more and more popular and rents will rise rapidly. Believe that. People saying, oh, HMOs are going to become more popular. It's going to happen. Mark my words. And last prediction, I will have more success students than ever before, and my training company will expand internationally during these years of great opportunity. Believe that one for sure. That one's just going to happen. So anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been very, very kind of just open and personal about things on this video. If you want to know more, maybe about you, about how I can help you, if you've got questions about what's going to happen, what you should be investing in, comment your questions below. Also, if you like this style of video as well, let me know. Let me know by smashing the like button. Let me know by subscribing and turning the notification bell on. Ding! And guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you massively for those folks that just have supported me over the years. I know there's been a lot of skeptics. There's been a lot of skeptics, not just about me, but about property investing in general. But there was a lot of skeptics in 2009. Property investing is going to be dead, they all said. Didn't happen. So get ready for the opportunity. Get ready to roll your sleeves up, work hard, take massive action, but get smart and know what you're doing. Thanks so much. See you next time.